I don't have an actual
Okay.
factual number.
Okay.
And how did you tell the mom that her son was gone?
So it's just competitive energy and things that you say about other artists while you're in hip-hop culture.
One could watch this and think that you really hate because of the things that you post on Instagram.
And I die in the street about this shit, man. This shit get serious to me. And then when I do rap shit, man, this shit is full of...
50 Cent has reportedly been robbed and beaten. That's the headline blowing up everywhere right now. And at first glance, it sounds like exactly the kind of story you'd expect when his name is involved. But what if this isn't just another random incident? What if it was planned, targeted, and possibly connected to something he was never meant to release? Early whispers suggest that not long after a leaked piece of his upcoming documentary began circulating online, a group of individuals allegedly showed up, seemingly trying to intimidate him into pulling the project altogether. Some reports go even further, claiming this wasn't just street-level pressure, but something more coordinated, a warning. And here's where it gets even more shocking. There are rumors suggesting that certain figures within the industry may have been involved, possibly attempting to stop whatever 50 Cent is about to expose before it reaches the public. If that sounds wild, just wait. Because once you start piecing everything together, this story becomes far more serious than a simple robbery headline. Now here's the thing. You can't talk about 50 Cent like he's a normal celebrity.
Treated people how they treated us. You know what I'm saying? It wasn't nothing that I wanted to do. It was just something that just had to be done.
Domani, also, you dropped a record. It felt more, did you get any inspiration from like, when I heard it for the first time, it reminded me of like Meet the Grams.
I would say, man, I just have questions. I just genuinely have questions. And I'm an understanding individual, and I know the reason people do certain things, it probably stem from how they grew up, how they were raised.
This is someone who built his entire identity around chaos, survival, and turning real-life danger into dominance. Long before the fame, before the business empire, before the TV shows, he was already a legend for surviving one of the most infamous moments in hip-hop history, being shot 9 times and somehow living to tell the story. And instead of disappearing after that, he came back stronger, using that moment as fuel for everything that followed. Over the years, his name has been tied to all kinds of situations. On-stage confrontations, robbery accusations, public feuds, and even major financial losses linked to hacking incidents. So when people see a headline claiming he was robbed and beaten, they don't hesitate to believe it. In 50 Cent's world, that level of chaos feels believable. It fits the pattern. It matches the history. But what's happening right now in 2026 feels different. This doesn't look like random violence or bad luck. It feels strategic, like someone is trying to control a narrative before it spirals out of control. And if that's true, then the real question isn't what happened to 50 Cent. It's what he knows that has people this desperate to silence him. To understand what's really going on, you have to look at who 50 Cent has become. Not just who he used to be. Because in 2026, he's no longer just a rapper living off past hits. He's something far more calculated. Over the past few years, he has quietly transformed himself into one of the most powerful storytellers in the entertainment industry. From hit TV shows to high-profile documentaries, he's mastered the art of turning real-life drama into content that millions can't stop watching. And that shift matters, because it changes how he fights his battles. He's no longer responding with music. He's responding with narratives, with exposure, with stories that can reshape how the public sees people. Once you understand that, everything happening right now starts to make a lot more sense. Recently, 50 Cent has been going all in on documentaries, but not just any documentaries. These are projects that dig into real controversies, real allegations, and real people with something to lose. His past work has already shown that he's willing to push boundaries and go places others avoid. And whether people agree with his approach or not, one thing is undeniable: it works. These projects grab massive attention, dominate online conversations, and most importantly, they put pressure on the people being discussed. So when rumors started spreading that he might be working on another explosive documentary, people didn't take it lightly, especially in an industry where reputation is everything. Because today, A documentary can do more damage than a diss track ever could. And that brings us to the situation building behind the scenes, the growing tension between 50 Cent and T.I. What started as something that could have been positive quickly turned into something much bigger. There were talks of a versus-style battle, a moment fans would have celebrated as a clash between two legends. According to reports, both sides were initially on board. The idea was simple: celebrate their catalogs, go hit for hit, and give the culture something unforgettable. But then, without clear explanation, 50 Cent pulled back. And that's where everything shifted. From T.I.'s perspective, it didn't just look like a change of plans, it looked like a public letdown. And that moment didn't stay quiet for long. Instead of letting it go, T.I. took it to the studio. One track turned into multiple, and suddenly this wasn't just tension anymore. It was full-blown conflict. Diss tracks started dropping, and the tone wasn't friendly competition. It was direct, personal, aggressive. But what made this different from a typical rap beef was how quickly it escalated beyond just the two artists. It didn't stop with T.I., his family got involved too. His sons stepped in, adding their voices, and that's when things crossed into much more personal territory. Instead of responding with music, 50 Cent took a completely different approach, one that caught a lot of people off guard. He didn't rush into the studio. He didn't drop a diss track. He went to social media, memes, posts, subtle jabs. He kept the conversation alive without ever stepping into the ring the way people expected. At first, some saw it as weakness, like he was avoiding the fight. But others started to realize this might be something else entirely. Because while everyone else was focused on music, 50 seemed focused on something bigger, controlling the narrative. Meanwhile, the attacks against him kept intensifying. This wasn't just about lyrics anymore. Personal topics started surfacing, old stories, private matters, sensitive issues, all being used as ammunition. And in hip-hop, when it reaches that level, it stops being entertainment. It becomes something much more serious. The kind of situation where reputations can be permanently damaged. But here's where the story takes another turn. Because while it may look like 50 Cent is being overwhelmed, what if he's not? What if he's setting something up? Because if there's one thing he's proven time and time again, it's this. He doesn't fight on your terms. He changes the battlefield. There are no confirmed reports of him being physically attacked the way viral headlines suggest. No verified footage. No police statements confirming a robbery tied to this situation. So why is that narrative spreading? Because what's happening to him isn't physical, it's cultural, it's reputational.